Hi there, my name is Moon, and I'm a twin flame channel and Western astrologer. And this is a video about the new moon in Leo for 2020, happening on August 18th, 2020 at 10:41 p.m. You happen to be on the eastern seaboard of the United States. This is yet another favorite moon for this year for me. If you're new to the channel, I thank you so much for being here and for hitting like on this video and for subscribing. If you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe. That way you'll get all the updates in a timely fashion. Before I begin, I just want to share that Q&A with Kay, a private mentorship program for lightworkers and twin souls, is now open. That program is a 4-week program that allows you to have private mentorship in a small group with me. And we begin next Friday on 8/21, right after this new moon in Leo. And we have a free view coming up this Friday. So if you happen to catch this on the 14th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, that'll be an opportunity to check it out, see what it's like. We'll be live here on this channel, and I'll walk through exactly what a class might be like so that you can get a feel for it and decide if you might like to enroll. Enrollment does close, however, on Wednesday the 19th. So that's really in a few days, right when we hit this new moon. So definitely sign up if you know that this is the kind of support you need. It's about 50% sold out at this point. So I'm looking forward to having the course with the Soul Tribe that are called to it get all enrolled before the close date. So once again, if you are curious about it, you can find out more at kmoonastro.com and just look for Q&A with Kay, the private mentorship program for twins and lightworkers, so you can get signed up. What I love about this particular new moon is its heaviness in cardinal energy. You can see here, there's a lot of cardinal energy in this chart. There are 3 modes of the zodiac: cardinal, fixed, and mutable. Many of you already know about fire, earth, air, and water, the elements. The elements are about how we process the world around us emotionally, if you're a water sign, spiritually as a fire sign, through the material world if you're an earth sign, and through the mind and communication as an air sign. But what the modes do for us, cardinal, fixed, and mutable, is they reveal what our instincts are in response to what we're perceiving. And the cardinal instinct is the instinct to create anew, to start a new thing, to create a new beginning. And with so much cardinal energy at a new moon, we're given the opportunity to begin again. And I love that. I love that as a signifier for how this lunation plays out, because this moon is also conjunct Mercury, as we see down here. New moon, sun, and Mercury sitting all together in the sign of Leo. It's also, and Mercury is about the mind and communication, and it's in the sign of self-sovereignty and new beginnings and the sign of creativity. That's Leo. We also have this new moon speaking harmoniously to the Mars energy here in the sign of Aries. That's also having a conversation with Lilith and with Eris here. And this is a tougher lineup. I've spoken about this at length at the previous full moon, so definitely check that out. But this energy is really all about paying attention to our wounds and our triggers and our sense of self and in who we are. Ways in which we felt not good enough, not worthy. But caveat emptor, this is also bringing this up at a time when we are being asked to get rerooted in our self-sovereignty. There's a harmonious link between the two of these energies saying, hey, pay attention to the places where you've placed a wall between yourself and what it is you wish to create, between yourself and what it is you feel like you're worthy of in this lifetime and you deserve. Where have you placed that wall? Because now's the time for you to also break it down. Chances are that wall came through a series of beliefs, either via your experiences of life or beliefs from another person that you adopted about who you are. That's the Mercury influence there, beliefs, thinking. And this is your opportunity to begin to close the gap and tear that wall down between yourself and who you are to be in this lifetime. Because there's so much cardinal energy here, this new moon gives us the determination that we need to overcome the challenges from the past that were previously holding us back. There's also, this new moon is having a sextile conversation to the creation goddess here. And the creation goddess, Haumea, in Hawaiian astrology, is sitting in the sign of partnership. But what she's doing there is asking us to have a creative look at the way we work with others in order to create the world we want and the world they want, to find new ways forward. And this is what makes this such a positive new moon in the midst of such a challenging time. It's the opportunity to say, hey, whatever didn't work before, it may not have been time. But guess what? If you try now, the wind is at your back. Try again. So that's a really exciting energy. There's a new solution available if we're willing to take a risk and to try it. Other energies available during this particular lunation include a Venus here in the sign of Cancer, water, emotional sign of Cancer, in harmonious aspect to Uranus here in the earth sign of Taurus. This connection also allows, one mouth, so many thoughts. Slow it down, Kay. You can do it, girl. This connection with Venus sextile Uranus also has Venus in a square formation to Chiron. And so here's Chiron here at the 8th degree in Aries. This combination of energies here is what's putting forward a recognition of the places, first of all, where Venus squares Chiron. It's recognition of some of the wounds that we've had in the way we've been carrying our emotions. There's a recognition of some of our own patterns of self-sabotage, because Chiron is sitting in the sign of self. Venus is sitting in emotions. Venus is about attraction and what we're attracting, law of attraction style. But Chiron is those wounds that then allow us to teach later on and have learned from what we got wounded by. So here's this opportunity with Through the Lion's Gate, which just completed, all of our wounding coming back to teach us a truth about where we have been at in terms of what we've been attracting, and how what we've been attracting actually makes us truly feel on the inside. And then this new moon, again with all that cardinal energy, is saying, hey, you want to rewrite a story? Now's your chance. Hey, you want to create a new way forward? This is the moment. The Uranian energy, as Venus sextiles Uranus, allows us to transform and jump timelines on the earth plane in an instant, to instantaneously make a new decision, move in a new direction, create a new outcome, be on a new trajectory without any friction. The Uranian energy moves like electricity. It moves like lightning to allow something new to come forward in a harmonious way, since it's making that harmonious aspect to Venus here. In addition, let's see, we also have under this lunation, We've got the whole lineup here in Capricorn that's been here all year. I talk about it every lunation. You guys are probably sick of me hearing about it. I have clients who come to me in session and they're like, when is there going to be a different energy? And I'm like, when that energy breaks in Capricorn, there will be a different energy. And they're like, when is that? And I'm like, December. You have 6 more months. And they're like, no. And I'm like, trust me, it's doing you a world of good if you just know how to work with it. That Jupiter conjunct Pluto energy there in the sign of Capricorn is also at this particular moment in a more direct sextile to the Neptune energy in Pisces. And what that breaks down to mean is that the Jupiter Pluto dance that's been going on all year, that's been breaking down structures, right sizing our hope so that we're not hanging out in fantasy about what we want to be real, but instead we're recognizing the truth of the current circumstance and building our dreams on what's work ethically possible, possible by our own efforts, possible based on where we're actually at, not where we falsely believe we are at. The Neptunian energy is lending itself to a rejuvenation of faith in the sextile. But that rejuvenation of faith is really contingent upon what we're willing to work for, not just what we're willing to hope for. In addition, that rejuvenation of faith is also based on what's the truth of our own track record, with Neptune moving inwardly in a retrograde fashion, Jupiter moving retrograde, Pluto moving retrograde. This is an internal energy of restoration of our own hope. It's literally looking at the truth of who we are, who we've been, and what the universe has given us to work with, and saying, you know what? I'm going to count my blessings instead of my flaws. And I'm going to choose to see where there's an opportunity in the midst of this obstacle. And I'm going to take it. And that's what gives some of this new moon so much power for some of its wonderful optimism, because of all that cardinal energy and the way the universe is pushing us to say, I need you to get right with who you are. It isn't all bad. You do have wonderful things about you and about your life. Choose to focus on those and build what you can from what you have. We've got your back. And that's a wonderful message to hear in the midst of such a difficult year like 2020. This energy also includes, under this lunation, we've got Mars here, squaring off with all of this energy in Capricorn. And a Mars square is, other than my favorite, to put it lightly, the Mars square to Jupiter, then Pluto, then Saturn, once, twice, and 3 times as Mars goes forward, then retrograde, then forward again. So it will speak to this difficult energy in Capricorn 3 different times. The Mars square to this energy is providing us a good look at where our motivations actually lie. I once had a mentor say to me, you know, Kay, if you show me someone's calendar and you show me their bank account statements, and I can point out where they've spent their money and their time, I can show you exactly where their priorities are, regardless of what they say they are. This Mars square, because Mars is having a conversation with Chiron, with Lilith, who wants things all her way, and with Eris, who refuses to take anything less than her own inclusion at the decision-making table. These energies together that Mars is chatting with in the sign of the self is having us come to terms with where we have been a part of our own compromise in the world, where we have said yes to other people running over our toes, to other people taking from us what we've been unwilling to give, where we have been in agreement with our own downfall. And the Martian energy squaring off now with this energy in Capricorn brings a level of tension around what's crumbling now, so that we can find the motivation to build back anew, to build better, to build things that we truly need and truly want and that are truly aligned with who we really are and what's really happening in our lives, as opposed to something based in fantasy. So, a very grounded new moon for something so cardinal, which is can be very rare. That's unusual for something so cardinal to also be so grounded at the same time. And we have the high earth energy out here in Capricorn to thank for that. So yeah, there is, and also one other thing, because the Mars is sitting there in Aries right across from the creation goddess who's also making this square to the heavy duty energy in Capricorn, what we have here is in astrology what we call a T-square. And what the T-square does is it brings forward an energy of so much tension and feeling pulled into different directions in terms of our priorities here and where we're at. Mars here is nursing wounds and recognizing downfalls. Creation goddess is saying, hey, build something different, build something better, build something new, build something with people. The Mars conversations over here highlighting our insecurities, and the Capricorn energy here is going, oh my gosh, everything's falling apart. Everything's falling apart. All about my head. What do I do? The answer when you have a T-square and you're feeling pulled in two different directions in that way is always to include the sign that's conspicuous in its omission, and that's the emotional water sign of Cancer. That is to come back home to what you feel, to your heart, to recognize your truth in your feelings, to accept things for where they're at and how that actually makes you feel, and use those feelings as the barometer, use that love as the barometer of where it is you want to go. Use it as a compass for where it is you're supposed to be going. Because this Aries energy, that's going to have you giving in to your worst fears about yourself. This, if you're only leaning into the creation goddess energy, that's going to have you over here thinking you can build something that's completely unrealistic. And the creation goddess opposite Martian energy, that tension together will have you stuck in between. Meanwhile, the Capricornian energy is having everything collapse around us this year. The only way to fully build the next path forward is to get centered in the heart, in that Cancerian energy. Coming home, which is Cancer, represents home, to yourself, and letting your heart be your compass forward. So if you know this is something you want to work on, Q&A with Kay is now available as a 4-week opportunity to tap into what your heart is actually telling you. It's a mentorship program for twins and for light workers alike, private small group community to talk about the experiences you're having and sort through what a chart can't tell you about where it is your growth edge is, so that as you move into the second half of this year, you're not stuck and or waiting for things to shift in your twin connection or for things to shift in the outer world before you make moves heart forward in your own life to build the kind of life that you know you want to live into from this moment forward. You can sign up for Q&A with Kay over at kmoonastro.com. There's still a few seats available. I would love to have you. And there's a free view on this evening, Friday, 8/14 at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Just be sure if you're going to register for Q&A with Kay, you do it fast because enrollment will close this coming Wednesday. And once it closes, the doors will be closed for good for now. And we'll run this group with the people who are in. So seats are mostly full at this point, or just a little over halfway full. I would love for you to take one of the last spots. If you're new here, once again, subscribe. I'd love to share new stuff with you at the next full moon. And if you've been around for a while, definitely hit that like button so this content can find its way to people who need it most at this time. Thanks so much. Take great care and bye for now.